Hey guys, as it's the start of the year and there are plenty of films coming out this year, especially ones that I'm extremely excited for, I thought I'd make a video on all the films that I'm most looking forward to in 2019. So let's jump right into it. Now this isn't like my best films of 2018 or worst films. There isn't like an actual list. I'm pretty much equally excited for all of these films. Apart from my top three, I have three films I am most excited for. I have the rest, but I'm just going to be listing them off in no particular order and see how we go. So starting off with Shazam. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what DC do. I like the look of Shazam. The trailer was pretty interesting. It's kind of like Boyhood meets Superman. Sounds pretty cool. I'm down for it. The trailer looks quite fun. And I enjoyed Aquaman. I made it on my top 10 list, so I'm excited to see what DC have in store for us with Shazam. Next, we have The Lion King. Now, obviously, I'm a huge fan of the animation. Who isn't? It's fantastic. It's a classic Disney movie, it's a classic animation, and I'm excited to see what they do with live action. It's basically live action, it's made to look like it's live action, obviously it's all CGI, but most Marvel movies, they're all CGI and they're classed as live action. So it's a film I'm interested to see, and I think casting Seth Rogen as Pumbaa is perfect casting. So yeah, I'm quite excited for that film. So next up we have Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now this, shared universe kind of snuck up on us, which I think is quite cool. I'm excited for King of the Monsters. I saw the trailers, it looked pretty good. I haven't seen Godzilla, the first, the reboot of everything that's kicking off this expanded universe. But I saw Kong. It was decent. I enjoyed Kong. It was, it was fine. It's just quite cool to have this sort of shared monsterverse. Is that what they call it? I think it's Monsterverse. I think that's what they've called it. And it's just sort of come out of nowhere. So I want to go back and watch Godzilla. I enjoyed Kong. I think King Kong by Peter Jackson is still much better. But yeah, I'm excited for Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It looks pretty interesting, and I think Mothma's in it. So, it's going to be a good time. Good popcorn flick. Next up, we have Joker. This is Joaquin Phoenix's sort of take on it. Obviously, not just him, the directors and whatever else. But it's just look at him. He looks creepy, and I like the DC are doing this whole different. They're doing different. They're not sticking to one universe. At first, I thought it was messy. I thought it was a bit stupid. But they're kind of doing their own thing, and I think that's what's important. They shouldn't try and copy Marvel to a T. So they're doing their own thing. They've got lots of expanded universes. They've got the TV shows if you want to watch those or whatever. But I'm quite looking forward to Joker. It looks he looks very kind of Heath Ledger-esque. But at the same time, it's like his own thing. I've heard rumours that it's not actually set in the DC, like in a DC thing. It's like it's a person who thinks he's the Joker, who's like read a comic and he's he's got like some mental illness and he thinks he's and becomes the Joker. That's something I've heard. If that's true, that's quite interesting. But just from the small little trailer, like teaser, like snippet that they released and the different set pictures I've seen, I'm interested. They've got my attention. Next up, we have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This is Quentin Tarantino's new film. He's written and directed it, I believe. And it is Quentin Tarantino, so I'm expecting good things. But apparently, it's about an old Western actor and his stunt double trying to find their way in the new Hollywood. Plus, it's a crime film, and I believe it was based on some murders or something. I don't know too much about it, but I'm sure it's going to be a great time, and I'm looking forward to it. Next up, we have Colette. This is a film I'm actually really excited for. It comes out very soon. I think I'm seeing it this weekend. So it's it's close. It's coming out. I think it comes out today or tomorrow. And I'm very much looking forward to it. It's set in Paris, I believe. I think it is set in France. I don't know too much about any of it. I know that it's set on this woman. She's married. This famous novelist. He's like a French Paris letters, whatever it is they called him, and he has her write one of his novels. Like I think it's like a joke thing, or it's like a helping. They've got married. I'm not like a joke, but she's just helping him out or something. I'm not entirely sure. And then there's this whole thing being like, oh, you've become one of his ghostwriters. Obviously, he doesn't write his own stuff. And then it looks like this big dramatic, story about how no one would believe a woman, would write a book and read it, and obviously there's the whole mystery and the conspiracy, and it's all coming out, and people are finding out, and she's telling people, and he's not wanting people to know, and he's locking her away, and different things. I've got no idea where the film's going to go. The trailers look fantastic. I love reading, I love books, and this kind of feels like the history of some of that, and I think it's quite an interesting story that that's going to be told. So I'm very much looking forward to Colette. Next, we've got John Wick 3. I don't need to say too much. I mean, it's Keanu Reeves shooting a bunch of people in the head with awesome action stuff and just well done action. I've seen the first John Wick. I love the first John Wick. I haven't seen John Wick 2. I know it's fantastic. I just haven't got around to seeing it. So many films that I need to watch. But I know I'm going to enjoy it. I will watch it before I see John Wick 3. And I just know John Wick 3 is going to be a good time because the first two are. So if they're anything to go by, I'm very much excited for John Wick 3. Next, we have Frozen 2. Big fan of the first film. I think it's wicked. So Frozen 2, very much looking forward to it. Hopefully it's it's something new and fresh, but at the same time very similar in all the good ways. Some new songs and a new interesting story. It's been a while, so yeah, I'm looking forward to Frozen 2. I believe that's out Christmas or something this year, so a whole year away, which will be fun. Next we have the Lego Movie 2, which is the third, possibly fourth. I'm not sure if Lego Ninjago counts, I don't know, but the third film in this like Lego Movie franchise thing, because they had Lego Movie and then they had the Lego Batman movie, which I personally think Lego Batman movie is better than the first Lego movie. I thought it was brilliant. I absolutely love Lego Batman. I thought it was absolutely blast and just hilarious and so well done. And now we've got Lego Movie 2. Batman's back as well, so I'm extremely happy. You don't have to say too much more. The trailers look good. The first two films are great. I'm not sure if Lego Ninjago is part of that. I know it didn't do too well, so if it is, I wouldn't say it's worrying. This film looks brilliant, and I can't wait to watch it. Toy Story 4, which I am beyond excited for. We know hardly anything about it. They've released very small trailers which don't give anything away. I'm worried because I thought Toy Story 3 was a fantastic ending, but I have faith in Disney and Pixar. That they can keep it fresh, keep it new. And if this is the end, I'm going to be a complete sobbing and crying baby when I come out of the cinema. I've heard Tom Hanks cried when he recorded these last lines, which worries me a little bit, but we'll see. So very much looking forward to Toy Story 4. Next up now, I'm more intrigued about this film than excited, and I've got hope in JJ, but obviously it's Star Wars Episode 9. I'm not a fan of Episode 8 at all. I just do not like that film. Some people do, whatever, you're wrong. No, it sucks. And it's just such a shame. It's just, to me, it looks like a massive, huge missed out opportunity for JJ to do this entire trilogy. I wish he'd done the entire trilogy because it would have been good. He had a script for all three films. He had a plan. You can tell he had a plan. Things were leading up to something. And then Rian Johnson come along and just ruined it all, and completely scrapped it. And you can tell that's why the second film just doesn't click with the rest, and averting expectations piss off. Like, just your film sucks, I'm sorry. And I hope they could end the Skywalker saga properly and faithfully, and I'd be so happy if they just retconned the entire episode. I would literally be if they woke up and like Luke had a vision. Totally down for that. Totally down for Luke having a vision, and the whole thing's fake. He's like, oh, okay, I won't do that. I'll go and train Rey and do this, and there's a whole other awesome story which JJ planned out, and Rey actually has parents, and I don't know, just all the plot stuff gets fixed. I'll be up for that, just make it a 4-hour movie. But yeah, Star Wars. Hopefully it's good. Next, we have a film which I'm 99% sure it's coming out this year. I don't know. It says it's coming out this year. There isn't much about it. However, it's All the Bright Places. This is based on a book by the same name, which is just phenomenal. It's fantastic, it's beautiful, and it's extremely sad. It's tragic. So I'm again interested in and intrigued on how they're going to do it, because the majority of the book, I'd say about 80% of the book, is inside the two main characters' heads, Finch and Violet. It takes place in the majority of the time. It's in their head, it's their feelings, it's what they're thinking, it's explaining these outlandish things that are going on in their heads, and it's just the story is just it's just beautiful, as anyone can say, even though maybe that sounds cringe or something, but it is. The writing's fantastic, and I've heard it's a good film, but I'm very much looking forward to All the Bright Places. Now my top three. It's quite obvious. These are the films I'm most excited for this year. That I just it's the same every year, and it's the Marvel movies. First up, we have Captain Marvel. I can't wait for Captain Marvel. There's so many people just knocking it and saying, oh, I'm not that excited for Captain Marvel, blah, blah, just talking crap, to be honest, because they don't know who she is. And a lot of people forget that no one knew who Guardians was, and no one cared about Guardians. Then they saw Guardians, and if you ask anyone, majority of people, Guardians, of the Galaxy is their favourite, superhero film, it's their favourite Marvel film or whatever, and some of their favourite characters. They're all unknowns. They're very small characters that not many people know about. Sure, there's going to be a few hipsters that did, and there might be some people that actually didn't but say they do, but I had no idea who they were. All my friends had no idea who they were, and now it's one of our favourite things. And I think the same thing is going to be with Captain Marvel. Difference is I know quite a lot about Captain Marvel, which is why I'm excited. They're doing the whole Secret War thing with the Skrulls. If you don't know what it is, just wait and watch the film. Like, what Marvel haven't given you a reason to worry about them making a bad movie. Sure, it could happen. Captain Marvel could suck. But why? Like, why are people saying this? The trailers aren't fantastic, sure. But the trailers aren't giving away much. I haven't seen the latest trailer. There's like a third trailer. I don't want to watch it. I don't need to watch it. It's a Marvel movie. It's got a character in it that I like. It's telling a story that I enjoy, which I wish had waited and done with the Avengers, but whatever. There's a possibility they still will. And, it's introducing the Skrulls, and it's set in the 90s. It's going to be cool. I just don't see why people are complaining until the film's out. If the film's out and it sucks, sure, complain. Then, the next one, obviously Spider-Man. This would be number one if I was biased. But not even if I was biased, because obviously everyone knows what number one's going to be. But Spider-Man Far From Home, I can't wait for. I'm interested as well with Jake Gyllenhaal's character, him being Mysterio, and he's not a bad guy, which is interesting. I feel like they're going to do a whole Harry, Green Goblin's, Harry's Green Goblin in the other films, like it's his best friend, and then he betrays him, or not betrays him, but goes evil, and then he has to fight his friend. That dynamic. But they're going to do that, but slightly differently, have a new character, and I think that's what they're going to do. I don't know. But apparently Mysterio works for S.H.I.E.L.D. and it's more like a buddy movie, and they fight the Elementals, like the actual villains of the Elementals. Mysterio's there. However, I wanted to see Mysterio. He's one of my favourite villains, so I hope they don't keep him a good guy, unless it works really well. If it works really well as a good guy, I'm totally up for that remix. It's interesting, but I feel like it's going to be he's a good guy to a point. Something will happen. Maybe he's playing everyone because that is his thing, illusions and stuff. Maybe it's a whole ploy, and he betrays Spider-Man. But that's where I feel like it's going to go. I'm excited to see that because apparently they go to Venice and they're all into these different countries, and seeing Spider-Man not just in New York is something I'm interested in, something I'm excited for. Obviously, my most anticipated film of the year is Avengers Endgame. Just for me, not everyone's going to agree with it, but I'd say pretty much every Marvel fan would. It's going to be the biggest event of the year. This is the film I was waiting for, not Infinity War. Like, I was expecting Infinity War to be what this film's going to be. Like, Infinity War was fantastic, and I really, really did enjoy it. My biggest problem was Captain America not being in it enough, and I feel like this film's going to be the whole round off, the whole, the final goodbye for possibly Captain America and Iron Man. They both could survive. I very much feel like one or both will die, and I have a slight suspicion it's going to end in a similar way to the first Avenger with Captain America, with the whole him sacrificing himself to save everyone, because he's a man out of time. He's a man that hasn't actually got anything to live for apart from just living and helping with Earth and stuff. Like in, I think it's Age of Ultron, at the end of Age of Ultron, Tony says to him, he's like, oh, you'll settle down one day, wife, kids, whatever. And Captain America said, no, I think the man who wanted all that and who dreamed of that died 70 whatever years ago in the ice.
The simple life.
You get there one day.
I don't know. Family, stability. Guy who wanted all that went in the ice 75 years ago. I think someone else came out.
You all right?
I'm home.
Which, I love that line. I thought it was a really good moment in the film. And I feel like this is going to be the whole circle. This is Captain America's story. This is Captain America and Tony's story. And I feel like instead of, obviously, Captain America talking to Penny on the radio, it's going to be him talking to his best friend, Tony, as, he somehow, some way has to sacrifice himself to save the entire universe. And that would be a perfect ending for Captain America. I would be a complete wreck because I don't want him to go, because I love Chris Evans as Captain America. He's fantastic. But I feel like if that's how it does go down, I'm up for that. I'm up for solely Captain America and Avenger film. I've rambled on long enough. Those were my most anticipated films for this year. I'm sure there is plenty more films I've obviously missed or I don't even know about. There's so much that can come out. I've got no idea. But until next time, that's that. Nice little quick video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.